Hello and welcome to my channel. Well, this is going to be kind of like a rambly Sunday morning. So it's one of those kind of rambly, have no idea. I never run off a script. Even when I was doing that Boris and Nigel thing uh, yesterday, I had a general idea that Nigel was going to talk to Boris about why he can be seen now, because he was hiding from the law for a while. But anyways, I had that was my script. That was it. That's what I started off with. And I just had those two start to interact. And sometimes it turns out good and sometimes it doesn't work out well, but I had fun with that. But anyways, what I'm going to do is kind of give you an update on what's going on and what you'll probably see in the near future. And I also want to thank Gary from the last Rangers, Wastelanders. That's his. You can join, channels to support him, and he helped me with the 1K. He had put up there, way back when I don't remember what my subscribers were, but it wasn't anywhere close to 1K. And he got me some subscriber boosts that way. So he sent me these stickers, and now that I've got his address, I'll send him some stickers back. But really a nice guy. He covers a lot of different knives and stuff. All right, so that's that update. These are just random knives that are sitting here. I don't have this place. Here comes the rambly stuff. I'm single, all right? I don't even have a pet other than these guys, and they're pretty easy to take care of. So my place is a lot like this. There's just like a lot of, some would say clutter. I think the topic of this one is going to be knife addiction, because you can have all kinds of addictions and everything. Now, first off, I want to say, you got to say this crap nowadays, like you're illegal, you've got a lawyer with you or something. I'm not a doctor, I'm not a lawyer, I'm not a police officer. You have to go along with anything that would, I'm not a judge. You have to go through all this other stuff before you tell people, that you're just giving advice of your own. It's like it's an opinion. You don't have to take it, as an order. You don't have to take it as something you have to do. It's just like, take it or leave it. You don't have to believe what someone is saying. But it's strange that you have to point out, the obvious nowadays on a lot of stuff. Anyways, I told you this was going to be a rambly and ranting kind of thing. But yeah, if you're married or you've got animals, then you're going to keep your place at least a little, straightened up. But if you're single and you don't even have any pets, and the reason why I say it's pets, I'll give you an example. A while back, there was in the cabinet where you store glasses and stuff in the kitchen, I had put some, I got a lot of different, it's a small apartment, and I've got more than one glass probably than I need to drink, out of, but there's a lot of glasses there because I inherited a lot of kitchenware from my mother when she passed away. And anyways, when I put it up there, when you do something and you shouldn't do it, but you think, I'm going to get away with it, it'll be all right, you're just being paranoid. I put a glass in a weird position up there instead of stacked straight up. I put it in a weird position. Anyways, it stayed, it was fine. I thought, all right, cool, you're a genius. And then later on, I opened up the cabinet and that glass came down and it shattered. Now, I'm always walking around barefoot usually, so barefoot and glass is not a good thing, especially when you've got like a hard surface beneath it, like a tile floor or linoleum or whatever the hell this crap is. It's not real tile, like ceramic tile. But that thing shattered and broken. And it cut me right away. I stepped on a piece, you know. Well, if I'd have had a cat or anything like that, I'd have done a much better job of making sure kids, you know, anything. You want to make sure it's even a normal human being, you would want to make sure that it's safe. This has nothing to do with knife addiction. This is more like getting cut and stuff. You would make sure you do a good job of cleaning it up and everything. That one broken glass that fell down over like a period of like 3 or 4 months has cut me I don't know how many different times from different pieces of glass that just happened to randomly show up, because it fell not only out of the cabinet, it fell on the counter, which had, you know, like I said, there's clutter there, and the clutter in the kitchen is extra food. You know, it's cans of food, boxes of food and stuff. Well, it fell in that and shattered and then went down on the floor. And so, and there's a drawer there for kitchen stuff, you know, that you can slide out. I think that was partially open. Anyways, glass went everywhere. And I still don't know why I'm getting onto this knife cut stuff, but it wasn't really a knife cut. It was glass. You know, glass is one of the hardest objects, one of the sharpest objects. It used to be the sharpest object. I think it's the sharpest natural man-made, or not man-made, but natural objects on Earth. You know, it was like obsidian and stuff. But getting back to updates and everything, I now have enough money to do my 1,000 subscriber giveaway, and I'll put that video up very soon, and we'll do that giveaway, and you know, we'll cover all the rules and regulations or whatever on that one when it comes up. But yeah, I just wanted to give you an update on that. And also, as far as like addictions go, all right, knife addiction can be a real thing, man. Just like any other addiction, you know. There's a fine line between addiction and hobby. All right, a hobbyist, you know, is something. Oh, I touched that. I thought we were having a brownout, or did I? Did we have a brownout? Oh, I gotta turn it on. That's why. A hobbyist, you know, will, let's say you like remote control cars or something, you know, and you get one. Well, you know, just in a matter of, just because of your budget or something, you may get like a kind of like basic budget one, you know, just to try it out. And then you upgrade a lot of times. It's like, well, I want more range, I want bigger tires or whatever. You know, like a, you know, four-wheeler, a RC four-wheeler, you know, like this. And you're just driving it everywhere, you know, but it has problems going on over this big boker here. You normally wouldn't have any problems, but you need to upgrade, you know, bigger tires, because you're high centering yourself. You know, that always happens on a boker, and then look what happens. You know, you gotta get out, you gotta climb out. It ain't easy climbing out this way. You're lucky you ain't like this. You gotta come out this way, or like this. Jeeps have a sign that's upside down a lot of times, where it says, "If you can read this sign, please turn me over," or something like that. But you'll wind up getting more remote control cars. Same thing with drones. It could be same thing with anything you like to collect. Bottle caps. It used to be beer cans, empty beer cans, sometimes not even rinsed out so that they're sanitary. They're just stacked up there. You know, it's just this urge to get more than one example of something. You know, like a person that's just like normal, I would think, work. I say quote unquote normal, but you know, who knows. But you go back in time, and a knife was a tool, practical tool. But you usually couldn't afford to get a bunch of different ones of them, you know, even though they look like they're inexpensive nowadays. You add cost of inflation and what somebody earned for a living. Like I look at the Sears and Roebuck where they say, you know, a Colt single action, army and everything like that, that would cost thousands nowadays, was like $20 or $30. Well, that could be more than a month's pay. Hard work, not easy work, hard work. Before OSHA, before any of that stuff, yeah, you weren't. I don't know. Anyways, as a matter of practicality, they wouldn't have a ton of them unless that was their trade or profession, And then it's only because we've had more, I think, expendable income and, better off and everything, that knife collecting has become a thing. I mean, wrong. There's always been people that collect things, going through, even as soon as knives were made, there were people out there that probably collected them. But like I said, it depends on your income level. And that's another thing about an addiction. That's the difference between an addiction and a hobby. A hobby, you're gonna budget yourself exactly. You're gonna know your source of income for your hobby, how you're gonna finance it, and then you are not going to exceed that, no matter what. For whatever reason, whatever sale comes up, whatever fear of missing out does not apply to this at all. You schedule it. You know exactly what you want. And what I think happens is a lot of people just don't have enough discipline for that. They start out thinking, yeah, that's the way I'm going to do it. I know what I'm going to do. I got this figured out. It's pretty easy. All I'm going to do is buy one knife a month, and it's going to be whatever I can afford. But that's going to be my budget. And if I can't afford that knife that I want because it's more expensive than my budget, then I'm going to have to go more than 1 month, and you could set up whatever time parameter it is and all that stuff, but that's the way a logical person would do a particular hobby to keep it from going out of control. And that's what I usually try to do, and I hardly ever, am successful with it, because when you got the collecting bug or the addiction or whatever, you've got to realize you're never going to have enough knives. You're never going to have enough money to buy all the knives that you want. Whatever you see, if it comes out and you go, oh, that's cool, I'd like to try it. Guess what? For whatever reason, because there's so many that are like that and everything, you'll just never be able to afford to do that unless you break your budget. And when you break your budget, that's your first warning sign that you've got a problem, because it's becoming an issue. How are you going to finance it now? Your original finance situation, said that you were going to do $25 a month was your budget for knives. I mean, quite a few knives, pretty good knives, and you can build up quite a collection. $25 a month, 12 months in a year. In a year, you could have 12 pretty good knives. Or, do the compound, do the math, You skip so many months, you just add it up, and you got quite a bit of money. I'm not going to multiply 25 times 12 in my head because I don't feel like it right now. But anyways, you get the idea. But when when you start breaking that budget, that's a warning bell. That should go off in your head. That should tell you, hey, I better get this crap under control. Whatever happened, you just broke your rules. And if you can break a rule once and get away with it, guess what? You're going to want to do it again and again and again. You're going to justify it. In your head, you're going to say, hey, I had to. I mean, this was a once-in-a-lifetime problem. They're never going to make another knife, like this again. Or I got this special deal. This guy's been, he's been saving it up just for me, and he made me this offer, and, fill in whatever your justification is, But the thing is, that's your warning sign that you've got an issue. Now, if it gets really bad, if you start getting to where you're lying to people about it, you're lying to anybody. You already are lying to yourself when you're justifying the reason why you broke your budget. Either you miscalculated your budget, that's possible. Maybe you have more money than you think. Maybe you can afford 50 or $100. But see how it keeps creeping up, 100, 150, and then your range of knives that you can get. When you're down in the $20 and $25 range, there's a lot of them out there, but there's a lot of crap out there too. So finding the good ones from the bad ones takes a lot of research. When you get beyond a certain level, you're starting to pretty much be guaranteed that most of what you get is not going to be crap. But that's no justification to go beyond your budget, whatever it is, Even if, let's say that, now these less than super costly ones that you like are now out of you just don't like them anymore. You've got enough of them. You want to go up. You want to step up your game. Hey, that's fine. From now on, you say you're just going to get better quality knives, and you changed your parameters. They got to be made in USA. They can't be made in China. They got to be made out of better steel. Whatever it is, fit and finish has got to be better. You set your parameters. But again, all right, whatever your limit was, if you exceed that, if you definitely do have more income to finance it for a justifiable reason, not like lying to somebody or maxing out a credit card, or stealing or whatever it is. I don't know anybody. There are people that are, it happens at blade shows and stuff. I don't know if these people. Sometimes it's people within the community, but most time I think it's outsiders. I have no idea, on that. But I mean, it can be so bad that a person would steal another person's knife that maybe you thought was a friend because, hey, they like knives like you do too. Yeah, they like knives, but for a different reason, They're not doing it to collect it. They're doing it to make money off of it or resell it or whatever their justification is. Maybe they are doing it to collect it, but they can't show anybody anymore because they've stole your knife and you put a special notch on it or something, or, hey, I've digitized this pattern. Anybody's got this exact pattern? That's my knife. FBI, go get them, whatever it is. But still, just don't let it become a problem. If it becomes a problem, is when, like I said, you're exceeding your budget and you get to the point, if you get to where you can't pay your electricity bill or you can't pay your rent because your quote-unquote hobby is the reason, you had money set aside for electricity, all right, and you were going to pay it, but then this knife came along and you're thinking, they let me get away with it before without it's a while before they've got to cut off. See, all that justification, all that lying that you're doing to yourself, that's what you're doing, So if you can lie to yourself about this, you have no discipline, You really need to get it under control. I think that, now this is just my advice, because it will get out of control. You will have an issue. You're going to have an issue with relationships. You're going to have an issue with being able to believe anything. If you can believe your own bullshit, you're going to be able to believe anything. People are going to be able to tell you the moon is made out of cheese, and you're going to believe it, because now your mind is so flexible because it's used to accepting bullshit. You've been feeding it bullshit constantly, and you think it's okay, but it's not. It's not okay to do that. So that's where, like, morals and values and stuff like that come around. You got to be of a certain character. You got to say, look, I realize what's going on. One of the first things is denial. If you sit there and say, that's not happening, that happens to everybody else on YouTube, but that never happens to me. You are so full of it. You're just doing this for clickbait. I don't do any of these things for clickbait or views. This is just my life. I like knives. I get much more knives now because of Toby and family. But I was on a budget, and I would still exceed it. And I'm on a fixed income, so it can get serious, Now here's one of the things you can do to prevent a lot of stuff, and this takes discipline. Sorry, If you don't have discipline, you're going to have problems in your life. That's all I'm saying. This ain't an old man, telling you stuff, but I mean, if you live as long as I have, um, you're going to learn a few things. And really, like, again, going into the military, it was one of the best things I could have done in my life, because it teaches you discipline, whether you like it or not, man. If the regulations say that you cannot go outside without a hat on, but you don't like hats, or you've got a skin issue or something else, I don't know, nowadays you probably would be able to get away with it, you know. I know people of African American descent have a problem with shaving, and they would actually get like a rash, and they could get a waiver. But normally, like, if you had a beard or anything like that, maybe you could probably get away with it. But in the Air Force, man, nah, man. You were out of uniform. And out of uniform is a violation, punishable by, you know, if it gets carried away. Usually wasn't that much, but you could lose stripes. You could, you know, if you got an attitude and started telling an officer what he could do with, you know, whatever, while he's disciplining you. So you learn discipline, whether you like it or not, you know. But those things are easy to lose if you don't exercise them. So the main discipline that this one is you're just going to have to discipline yourself to stay within your budget to keep it from going crazy. And yes, knife addiction is real, just like anything else. The high that you're chasing on a knife collecting or whatever is the new knife high, or the fear of missing out high, or the one-of-a-kind rarity high, or I just gotta have it, or you could be drunk in the middle of the night, you know, scrolling through things, and being drunk lowers your inhibitions. Now, you can apply to a lot of different, you know, chemicals and stuff like that. I'm not just singling out alcohol, but that's one of them, you know, that can alter your perception, lower your inhibitions. And when it does, if you had any discipline before, that goes out the window, because you're going to be able to justify anything much better when you're drunk. So, yeah,